Now let us talk about a very important concept called security group. It is primarily to control unruly traffic from and to EC2 instances. So typically we hear a term called firewall. We hear on PCs. If you already have prior work experience in work projects, you might have heard about firewall very frequently. And firewall also comes with rules, and you can create firewalls from within the machine itself, and the traffic will be controlled. But if it is part of the server, for each and every new server, you have to define the rules by getting into that server, and you need to manage whether the rules are defined properly or not. It will become a daunting task over a period of time if you have hundreds of servers on which firewalls has to be managed. For that reason, it is very typical that firewalls will be externally managed. So there will be another layer between all the servers in the network where there will be a firewall device, and the rules will be defined in that device, and those rules can be applied on multiple servers at one time. So if you have 1,000 servers and 200 servers of them are of one type and the same rules needs to be applied, we can do so very easily because the firewall rules are externally managed. So the solution from AWS in terms of externally managed rules is security groups. And you can go to the security groups by navigating on this left menu. You can see security groups here. Okay, you can click on this, and it will list all the security groups that are currently created. It's free, you don't need to pay anything for the security group. It's a logical layer, and you can create one security group with certain rules and apply one security group for multiple servers. So for example, if you want to build a Hadoop cluster of 20 nodes on AWS, all the 20 nodes has to be opened on the same set of ports. Probably, if not all, there can be 2 or 3 groups on which rules can be specified, and these 2 or 3 groups can be applied on all the 20 servers. One on probably 15 of them, second one probably on 3 of them, and third one probably on 2 of them, something like that. So the way you can update security group is by choosing it and click on actions and click on edit inbound rules, edit outbound rules. Also, when you select, you will see the description of this security group at the bottom. You can see the inbound rules, and if you see, only port 22 is opened from anywhere, so anyone can connect to this server or SSH. And then outbound is all the traffic is opened from this server to external world. So I can connect to anything that is permitted in the external world from this EC2 instance. Typically outbound is not that important, but inbound we have to make sure that all the rules are defined properly. Otherwise you will not be able to use the EC2 instance properly, or you might open it up to external threats. So you have to be extremely careful to define what all ports should be opened, and only open those things as part of these inbound rules. If you want to edit, you can either click on edit by clicking on this button, or go to actions and say edit inbound rules. And also another typical way of coming to security groups is by going to instances by clicking on this. Now there is only one instance and it is automatically selected. And if you go to the description part of this and scroll down, you can see the security group here. We can click on inbound rules. We can see the rules, review them. If you want to modify, you can click on the security group itself, and you come to this security groups page again. This is automatically selected because we clicked on this on the instance, and here we can update the security groups. Keep in mind, when you come from an instance, that same security group might be applied on hundreds of instances. So if you open one port here, that means that port is open for all the instances. So you have to be a bit careful and understand the side effects of updating the rules in security groups. Let me demonstrate a bit here. For now, as only 22 port is available, I can SSH to this, and we have already seen. So let me go to instances, and let me choose this and go to Sigwin and say SSH-I. That is the private key which I want to use to connect to this remote machine, and CentOS is the username, and paste the public DNS and say yes, and you are connected because port number 22 is opened. Now if I exit, one way to troubleshoot whether port is open or not is by saying telnet paste 22. You can see here telnet is able to connect to this 22 port service running on this machine, which means there is something running on 22. And you can see details also here. Sometimes you will not be able to see the details. Now if I want to come out of telnet, I can hit control this square bracket, closing square bracket, and then quit, and I can come out of telnet. So port number 22 is open. Quite often we try to ping, and let me try to ping here and paste the public DNS. If you see, it is not pinging. Even though server is up and running, we are not able to ping because ping has to open up, means we have to open up something on the server for ping to work from the external sources or external machines. So for example, now if I go here and let's say if I edit this security group and say edit and remove this by clicking on this, I removed port number 22 and adding a new rule now. And for ping, the protocol that will be used is ICMP protocol. So we have to say all ICMP, okay, and then let's say anywhere to keep it easy. You can see the other options also, custom myIP, etc. So you can tell whatever IP addresses that needs to be used to connect to this. If you say anywhere, anyone can actually ping to this machine. If you say myIP, it will pick up the my IP based upon my internet service provider and network, and it will replace that value here. If I say custom, we can define subnets, and only those subnets are the exclusive IP addresses can actually talk to the server, others cannot. For now I am just saying anywhere and then save. Okay, so now I have disabled port 22 and enabled ICMP. We don't need to do anything else, as the security group is already assigned to our EC2 instance. All these rules are in effect immediately. Now if I say SSH, it will not work, it will not connect. That's why it is taking very long time. I am killing this, and also I am testing it through telnet. You can see it is not giving the telnet console here because the port is blocked now. Now if I say ping and paste this port, paste this public DNS of our EC2 instance, now the response is coming. Okay, now ping is enabled as part of the rules in the security group, but SSH is disabled, which we don't need. We want to open SSH also. Now again I can say edit and say add rule select SSH here and say anywhere and then save. Now SSH is again enabled in this security group. I can actually say telnet and confirm that the port is opened in the security group, quit, and then I can say SSH to connect to the EC2 instance. The reason why I'm demonstrating this is quite often there will be web services running on the EC2 instance, but we might not be able to use it from our PC. It could be primarily due to security group, and you have to look at the security group rules and fix those things, and you have to be careful when you try to fix, and then you can start using the all your web applications from wherever you need.